Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back once again to the Dancing Sober Week 2. This is Week 2 of this new format, and let's see how it goes. This week we have for you artist Maea. She was the selected artist for this year's Kite Festival that is put on together by Clock Shop LA, a festival that takes place at the State Historic Park in Chinatown. We talked to Maea, and we also talked to Isabel Jimenez about the Kite Festival and Clock Shop and all the fun things that they do there. Earlier this week I posted this photo here with these beautiful palomas, and Mr. Felix Quintana reached out to me and said, hey, why don't you come into the studio and we can do a print of this. I really want to see how it looks in cyanotype. Of course, I said yes. Came down to his studio. We put this print together. And thank you, Felix Quintana, for doing this little print, collabing with me. And now it's available. So you will see it on Instagram if you follow us on Instagram. There are only 2 prints available. So I hope that you got it. And lastly, in January, I started filming something with Raul, Baltazar. I did not finish shooting that. I wanted to make a documentary just about Raul, but it's really expensive to shoot in high quality 6K. I have to get more hard drives. I can't reuse hard drives because I need to save what's on them. And so pretty much for like each hour of shooting, I need a terabyte of memory on an SSD external. So yeah, it's pretty expensive. So I don't know if I'm going to be shooting on that, but take a look at it. It looks beautiful, and I hope that I do get to shoot more things like this. And thank you so much to Raul. I'm sorry that we didn't keep filming this, but I still have other footage from those 3 days that we did film. I hope you enjoy this, and please consider hitting us up on Venmo. The link is in the description below, and you could also find me on Instagram at rafa.la.
Hello, I'm Maea, and this is the Los Angeles Kite Festival. I am Clock Shop's festival artist this year, and so I made 2 amazing kites that I'm excited to share. And also we're amongst so many amazing kites, so yeah, here we are. So each year Clock Shop, since 2025, this is the 5th annual Kite Festival. Since 2025, Clock Shop has hosted this event here at the State Historic Park. And it was initially as a protest to the gondolas, to take up airspace and to reimagine what airspace is. They've invited, over the last 5 years, 5 different artists to come in and make a specific kite. You know, these are artists working in all sorts of different mediums, in sculpture, in printing, and all these different ways. So this is like a way to also ask artists to rethink their practices, to become airborne. So that was an interesting challenge and exciting part for my practice. I'm a weaver, I'm a sculptor, and so this was my first time really making something that was considering the wind in this way. I talk a lot about functionality in my work, and this was actually really put me to task, you know. There are a lot of non-negotiables when you're working with the air, when you're working with the elements, and that was a challenge in an exciting way. So I forge kites, or I forge material, I forge palms, and I made my frame out of these forged palms, and also material that I brought from Oaxaca, Mexico, carrizo reeds. And I was thinking a lot about navigation. Here at the State Historic Park, I've actually built a viewfinder of like pointing to the North Star here with the organization LAND 2 years ago. And so this is kind of an extension of that recognition of like navigating towards a space. There's a practice within the Pacific of creating these reed maps that measure the current. that show the current. It's done throughout Micronesia, and a lot of Pacific peoples use this. It's made out of reeds and string. So I made my own kind of version of that, and I drew images from both my past and present, my histories, my collective histories, images of my city and my family and my friends. Initially, when I was building out this kite, I was thinking a lot about these maps, these current maps that were made in the Pacific. And so I built out of Carizo reed, which I sourced from Oaxaca, Mexico. I built this kind of geometric shape, also a nod to the kites of Guatemala, which are these large kites that they fly in an annual festival that usually memorialize revolutionaries and the lives of people and communities that have stood up against violence in their community, have stood up against oppression. And so I kind of took those two different kite making practices, and I really kind of thought about what is my own kind of personal story there. What am I trying to convey out to others about my journey as a Los Angelino, a person kind of taking up these spaces in the art world, and what messaging do I want to put out into the world. And a lot of it for me right now was just a reflection of where I've been and where I like to go, my family's journey to be here in Los Angeles. And yeah, and so I did a lot of drawing as well on the kites, and that was its own kind of map making. So during the pandemic, I was an artist who was working, assisting other artists. During the pandemic, when things shut down, I was really asking myself, what is resource within my community, within my own practice? What could I use to continue to make work during this time where things were so uncertain? And so I began doing like what many people were doing at that time, going on walks throughout the city. I noticed the palm. I cut a palm from my own backyard. I Googled it. And the practice of weaving is one of our oldest human technologies. It's been with us and across cultures. And it's how we carried our babies. It's how we carried our water. It's how we stored our food. So it's an early human technology, and it's a really beautiful thing to kind of reimagine here in Los Angeles. I think a lot about our relationship to landscape, and basket weaving, something I share often. I do a lot of workshops, and I feel like it's important to remember that our landscape is generous and generative for us.
My name is Isabel Jimenez. I'm the project associate at Clock Shop, which is an arts and culture organization based in the Elysian Valley that works with artists to develop programming and commissions on public land to deepen the connection that people have with Los Angeles. And today is our 5th annual Community and Unity People's Kite Festival. And it began as a way to celebrate the communities that work to fight for this park space that we're in today. We're hosted at Los Angeles State Historic Park, and it's a park that was originally slated to become industrial warehouses, but the communities in Chinatown and downtown and Lincoln Heights that live adjacent to this area work to preserve it and turn it into a green space that all of the communities can come here and enjoy and freely recreate. And part of the festival's origins also began as a way to comment on an ongoing project that is in development by Frank McCourt, who is the former owner of the Dodgers, who proposes to build an area gondola that will go from Union Station to the parking lot of Dodger Stadium and will directly traverse over this park space. Below the flying line that the kites behind me are reaching. So it would directly impact people's access to the airspace that is part of the green space that, you know, everybody has an inherent right to. And as part of the Kite Festival, every year we commission a contemporary artist to create kites that respond to the land histories of the park. And this year we're working with an artist named Maea. And Maria's practice is often incorporates elements of sculpture and weaving, and the kites today also bring these elements into play. So one of the kites is woven from palm fronds, which is a material that is so embedded in the visual language of Los Angeles. You see them everywhere, and they're often discarded, but also part of this really long-standing tradition where weaving is one of the oldest human technologies that we have access to. So bringing that into conversation with a place like LA State felt really resonant. And the second kite incorporates elements of her Polynesian and Mexican heritage, where there is a kind of sacred geometry and celestial mapping that references a navigational tool used by the people of Micronesia that charts currents and island formations using bamboo and shell pieces. So Maria uses personal images, images from her archive, images from scenes around LA, and creates this map where all these different elements are coming into play, and it's layered over stencils from Samoa that her mother had sent to her. So there's a lot of these beautiful elements that are coming into play at once. Yeah. So this festival happens once a year, usually in mid-May, usually on Mother's Day weekend. And you can find out more information about it on Clock Shop's Instagram, which will be at ClockShopLA.
Yo, what's up, everyone? My name is Felix Quintana. Welcome to the studio right here with the homie Rafa. We're gonna just walk you through making a little print real quick. And what else?
Making a print from digital, right?
Making a print from scratch. So Rafa has a digital file, black and white photo, and we're gonna make it into a negative using a digital inkjet printer. And then we're gonna coat some paper and hopefully make a cyanotype from that. All right, there it is. All right, cool. So yeah, it'll fit within like a, let me see. Let's do that to make it more clean. 14 by 21. Okay. Right, there you go. So that's good. So that's the first step. And then after that, I'm gonna turn into a negative. So I'm gonna hit Command I. And then it's a negative.
Inverted.
Inverted. And then what I'm gonna do for the cyanotype is bring down the levels. So this is kind of like by taste, but I'm just gonna push it down so it's not so contrasty. For cyanotype, you want it to be a little bit less contrast. Mm-hmm. So everybody has their own flavor. I kind of do like around here, like 40. So it's like not as contrasty, so you can get more values. If not, it's gonna look too contrasty, unless you want it like that, right? So I'm just gonna do it how I normally do it. All right, and then flatten. And then obviously we're gonna flip or mirror the image as well. So I'm gonna flip it. So it'll look something like that, mirrored. So hopefully the negative looks good.
So you invert it and you mirror it.
I'm inverted and mirrored it, and I mess with the levels a little bit.
Yeah.
And hopefully that should be good. It looks good to me. You don't want it to be too punchy.
Yeah.
And then I got my printer. I'm gonna set the paper or the negative size, which is ANC borderless 17 by 22. My setting is normal. And let's see, right here, everything is set pretty much. And now we can load our negative. So I think I got some right here. I just went through so much. I just printed like a whole pack. It's worth. Let's see. So this is one sheet. Puerto Rico, shout out to Freestyle. Always hooking it up. Okay, let me just bring this whole thing out right here.
This is vellum paper?
This is like, it's called OHP film. It's pretty much overhead transparency film. So the same thing, that they would use for the overheads. It's similar, but this one is designed for like digital negatives. So for like photo, more for like photographic images. You can see it has like a little chop right here, so you know where to put it on the top right. So, but it's like the biggest size that I could print right here. So this is like my go-to for sure. But yeah, there's like a sticky side, like an emulsion side. and then there's like a more plastic side. So the stickier side is gonna be the emulsion. For this process, I don't need like a complete darkroom. Oh. All I need is just to block out the sunlight for the most part. So I got my little system. That should be cool. All right. This is a piece in and of itself right here, where I coat everything. All the layers and layers of cyanotype.
I saw some artwork last week and it looked like this at an abstract show.
There you go.
That's Jeffrey Deitch.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Jeffrey Deitch.
I'm not even kidding. There was like walls of like...
Hit me up. Let's get our paper set up. This is gonna be more of a little mission. All right. BFK. Shout out to artists and craftsmen. Keep it stocked. You can see the negatives coming along. So obviously we could just measure it. We can eyeball it, fool, but I'm gonna try to measure it. We'll use this as a reference though. Looks good. So you see how you get this milkiness? One thing a lot of people don't know is you gotta let your negative dry. When this is milky, that means it's still wet. So it'll take like 5-10 minutes to dry, but if you were to immediately print with this, it's gonna make your negative too light. There. Till about there. That should be cool. All right. All right. Get that one. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm good. Since I'm using the negative, I could just use that as a reference. All right. And I'll get this one here. There. Just to, one will be our test, and then the second one, hopefully we'll nail it. Usually I'll coat like two at a time. All right. All right, cool. We're gonna go for it. All right. So,
I don't know what I would do, but I'll do something.
I should be wearing gloves. If you do this at home, wear some gloves. But if not, it's all good. So let's see for this size. I'm gonna do maybe one capful each. So that's A. That should be cool. All right. We'll just wipe down the excess here. So like I said, it's a little wasteful, but try to keep it clean in the chaos. And now part B. So simple 2-part solution. This is probably like 25 bucks. I purchased Freestyle as well. And yeah, I don't really measure. I just do like caps. So for like big prints, I'll do like 3 caps. For little prints, like one cap or something like that. This guy right here is my trusty one. All right, man, you ready? So yeah, usually, I mean, honestly, I try to keep it pretty freestyle, pretty kind of stream of consciousness. But yeah, I just kind of try to look at the image and see what's going on. And we'll just go for it. All right, ready? So we'll just pour it on. Just like that. And then we'll just start. We'll start to do it. You can see how it starts to drip on the edge. So I just go back and forth, up and down. Honestly, this is a new way that I've been coding as well. Before I used to code it different, but I've been trying to listen to the OGs and do it like this. But yeah, I try to leave some of the brush marks to give some of that, texture to the print.
So it still has like a human touch.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just keep brushing it until it kind of like settles a little bit. Up and down. Back and forth. But yeah, I want to leave in maybe some areas depending on the image. Usually I would keep going. I think that should be cool though. Just one cap. All right, this is my trusty little tool. I use different tools to do the scratches, but this is definitely one. All right, shout out to Raven's Bomb. Little stocking stuffer. Just a little like 10-in-1 little tool, little gadget. And then we'll just go ahead and do the scratches right here. So the emulsion is still wet. And again, I'm just gonna free flow right here. Let's see. I'll switch it up. Different tools. See what we got in here.
And are you in a hurry at this point? Does it matter?
Not so much. It's kind of nice actually to wait a little bit, like when it dries. But depending, you know, you could get different types of marks. Like this one, I can kind of pull up things in a different way, you know, and get a little bit more. So that one is good to do, like when it's still a little wet. This tool I got it from Daiso. It's like a card opener, you know. So I like to use like just random tools, whatever I could get my hands on. I like those kind of marks. And that should be cool. You want to do a quick one?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Yeah, maybe try the. All right, there you go.
I want to hit. So this is how the image is, like the way that it's.
Right. Yeah, exactly how you're looking at it right now. You want to try to like scratch into it, you know? You'll get something, whatever feels good. Nice. All right, so we'll just grab it.
Hang it up to dry.
Yeah, we're gonna let it dry for like cool 10 minutes. All right. And usually I can reuse these, which is good. All right.
Oh, and then this, you just throw it on top, right?
Yeah, just try to like spread it out, you know. You know, do a nice line. Go fast. There you go. Cool. And then you're gonna go side to side, up and down, to try to lay it out evenly. There you go. And you want to try to work kind of fast so it doesn't pull too much. And then go the other side, up and down.
I already messed up what I thought I was going to do.
All good, all good.
Oh, I could still scrape some off. Huh?
You can scrape some off, yeah. There you go. So I'll go all the way.
What do you mean?
Keep going. Yeah, like up and down, all the way from the top to the bottom to try to get it even. Yep, and then go the other way once you got that. And you just keep doing it until you feel like it's settled, like you don't have any pulls going on.
I think that's good.
Maybe, yeah, I think it should be cool.
All right.
All right,
So I want to do some scratches with
go for it.
these fences.
There you go, nice,
Quite a few scratches.
nice. And those scratches tend to kind of look like the one behind you where it's kind of blue. Like sometimes it kind of just like digs deeper.
Oh,
Like,
I see. Yeah.
you know, it kind of makes it more blue. It just depends how you scrape it, how you scratch it, how you sniff it, all that. So I'm gonna try to see where this pole is, more or less. And ooh, shit gets active. Okay, all right. I think that might be it. Let me see. What else?
Un coyote right here. I like your
Little
coyotes.
coyotes? Yeah, that's true. There we go. Alrighty, you don't want to let it sit for too long. If not, it'll start exposing pretty much. So let's get it ready to bring over. It was fast. Alright, man. So now let's bring it over here. So this is kind of my system. Yeah, I gotta get like another system for this glass, but otherwise this is what I'll do. I'll just kind of grab it, use my stomach, put it right here.
The danger.
Hey, bro, Life's a risk, carnal. Art's a risk. All right. There's that one.
Tell me a little bit about this box right here.
Yeah, man. So I got this box custom made from this printer in Vermont. And yeah, man, it's a custom exposure unit. And which means, you know, before I used to print in the sun, and now I can print at any time. So I can print it in the middle of the night. And it's beautiful. It's all controlled as well. So I got my timings down pretty good. And yeah, this little strut system, shout out to Rafa, helped me install that. So it can actually hold up the weight. And yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, I could expose like 30 by 40 prints, like some of the stuff back here I've been doing with that. And yeah, like I said before, I was just printing in the sun. And yeah, I'm gonna trim the negative a little bit. So we get a little bit of a border, just a touch. So yeah, man. Yeah, that machine has been a game changer for sure. Just to be able to print anytime I want and have things like dialed down. So I'm hoping to do some bigger stuff now that I can kind of scale things. All right.
Take back Spider-Man.
You know? Exactly. All right, boy. The Salvi Spider-Man. All right, cool.
I always thought you scratched it after.
Nah, I mean you could for sure. Sometimes I will add it after, but for now I just do it kind of beforehand. There you go. You want a nice contact with the negative to the paper. So yeah, we're gonna let it cook. Close this. We'll turn it on. We'll set it up right here to minutes. I'm gonna guess 3 minutes for this one. I have a whole book full of notes, so let me just see recent exposures. We're gonna just check the negative and see if it's cooked enough. It's risky because could possibly shift the negative, but hopefully it'll stay in place. So this is how you know if your negative is ready, just by checking it. Come on, man. Okay, that looks pretty good. I want to see some of these birdies. Yeah, exactly. Okay, they look pretty good. Okay, we're good. Let me just lift this. All right. Now, check it out. All right, it looks pretty good. So when you see it turn like silver, that's when you know it's ready. When it's still kind of green, that means that it still needs a little bit more time. But overall, it looks pretty good. So I'm just gonna cook it for a little longer, just a couple seconds.
Without the negative on.
Without the negative.
And what does that do?
It's just gonna tone down like the highlights, so you have a little bit more balance. This is the tricky part though, because you could do it too much. So you have to be careful not to overdo it. If not, you'll lose all your detail.
That's it? Just that little?
Just that little, yeah. So that should tone it down. All right, bro. Let's see. So we're gonna develop this now in water. So this is just regular distilled water, right? There it is. So we're gonna wash this for about 2 to 3 minutes. Damn, it came out good. What do you know? So this isn't the bluest that it's gonna get. This is just the first wash. We're gonna hit it right now with some hydrogen peroxide, and then hopefully that'll get more blue. You can see your drawing. We're gonna wash it off just to try to get all the yellow out of the print. Sheesh, it looks sick. Just guesstimating the exposure, my boy. All right. So check this out. Zoom on in for this. Now we're gonna hit it with the peroxide, and now it's gonna turn. It's gonna oxidize the print to make it more blue. There you go. Nice. Cool. So that's good. We'll dump this out. I'm gonna dump it right here. It looks beautiful. Okay.
Turn it around.
Yeah. Just for fun. There you go. We still gotta wash it a little bit, but there you go. Don't want to overwash it. This water is a little cold. It should be fine. Damn, bro, this is hard.
Like the lines you made.
Yeah.
Oh, there's my drawing.
There's drawing.
Mine
It came out. Nah,
came through and then
yeah.
I didn't want to come through.
Nah, it looks good. It's kind of like behind the fence.
Yeah.
It looks sick.
It does look like it's behind the fence.
Yeah, that's dope. All right. Let's flip it. Get the back side. So this is just our test print. Not bad for a test. We could decide. We could decide if we wanted to go more time or less, depending on how the shit dries down. But not bad. Not bad for a test print. This doesn't always happen. Sometimes it turns out too light or too dark, so we got lucky for sure. That's right. Big bad cyanotypes.
Big bad cyanotypes.
Big bad cyanotypes, homie. 19th century, homie. If anybody has a drying rack they're trying to get rid of, hit me up. This is pre-exposed. Once we expose it, it's gonna turn like olive green. The second print, but we already have a good idea how it's gonna look. So let's start with the first. 3 minutes. We'll start there, and then we'll just keep an eye on this. And that's it. Go. Ready? Oh, we should flip it. I don't know what happened right here. Something happened right here, but it looks kind of cool.
Probably from the initial splash.
Something happened, but it looks sick. It's a happy accidents. All right. Try not to splash your camera. Damn. There you go. So far, so good. All right.
Yeah, this print is sick.
Yeah, that one's not sick. Yeah, because I wanted to see more of the fence, the unfocus, you know. So you got an artist proof and a regular one. Not bad, 1 of 1.
So good.
All right. So let's get that one set up over here. Yeah, just so it doesn't get. All right, sick. All right, there you go. All right, man, there it is.
Booyaka shot.
Step by step. Yeah, they're different but similar in a way. There you go. Boom. All right. There you go, guys. Step by step, cyanotype, collab with the homie Rafa. Hit him up. Hit him up.
Thanks a lot, Felix.
All right, for sure.
I mean, I would imagine that art has to be made by an artist. There's an intention behind the action, and that action is trying to communicate an idea. and there is an aesthetic language that's connected to that idea that has been agreed upon by our society. So, for example, if I'm paint a bunny, it means something to us. And it might mean something different to, let's say, people from a pre-Columbian or a Mesoamerican indigenous background, right? It might have a whole connection with Coatlicue, Pulque, the moon, fertility, you know, and those types of specifics. And maybe another culture might not get that, but they might get something that's connected to that, you know, and has its own set of nuances and things like that. So the more you know about more cultures, the more educated you are, maybe the richer the experience. You know, the more the more I don't the word's not coming to me right now. It'll come to me. Profound, maybe the more profound the experience or the idea. So as an artist, that's what I'm doing. I'm transmuting, communicating these basically they're trails of action because they're or markings that show where my body has been, and it constructs an image. Okay, so whether it's the drip of the water and the gravity, you know, the speed of my brushstroke, you know, the way I flip it, you know, the canvas, move it, what have you. All those things help to construct the image in a unique way that no one else could do. You know, and that's why I think it's so powerful. And I think it's going to become more and more powerful the more and more that I'm noticing technology is taking over in the production of the images that are surrounded by us, you know, or the images around us that we're surrounded by. Or the fact that everything could be printed robotically, or the image itself is coming from an AI, or what I see many artists doing right now is basically copying images from a photograph, you know. So that's why I've kind of come back to this type of painting, which is something that comes uniquely from my imagination, and that I have the skill set from drawing and painting since I was a little kid, you know, till now, to be able to hone in on my particular style. Well, the bunny and the coyote are both trickster animals, trickster archetypes that are used in trickster tales, which kind of teach a type of wisdom through levity, through experience. Trickster tales are tried and true. They've been tested through time for thousands of years. And whenever I want to kind of connect with an easy form of wisdom, I find myself coming back to those stories. And it's a great teaching tool. They're also indigenous to this area. So when you look at wild animals, like, you know, on a hillside, in a particular time of year, you'll see them appear. And I always hold reverence to that they're still around, still fighting to survive, even though us as humans have become some type of almost like a cancer, you know? Although we can be also very healing to the earth, we've become more of like this predatory animal. that they're fighting against, So kind of maybe by painting them, I kind of showed the fact that we as humans have become very dangerous, or maybe like who are we? Maybe it makes us question like who are we? What are we really? And so, when I see a bunny out in the hills just doing its thing, or a coyote, like there's no beauty like that, I'm very appreciative of it. Well, I mean, with that you have the sacred and the profane, right? You have the grotesque that unifies us all. You have the ideal, and you have the rules that are supposed to domesticate us and make us feel like we're part of a civilization, that we're protected, yet we find ourselves being constantly lied to and having the money that's made from our labor to fund wars that kill the earth and the people, kids, mothers, like, other men, fathers, elderly. And it's supposed to be justified, right, through this type of nationalism or religious, religious kind of stories, justifications of why certain people can do this, So anyhow, I mean, it's this predatory prey relationship. It's this kind of like, you can't trick me, so I'm going to be irreverent. I'm not going to fall into your rules of what I have to hold higher than thou and what I'm not, And by that, it gives you some type of power, as an individual, as a free thinker, someone who's a critical thinker, and we need that more and more. We have to have that courage to question authority, to speak truth to power, and to not have your every hour controlled. So in that way, in the lifestyle that I choose to live, I feel like I truly am an artist, because I am putting myself out there. I'm not afraid to be a fool. I'm not afraid to be vulnerable. I'm not afraid to question or to fit in. And that's why I feel like not everyone could be an artist. Maybe inherently, and at first we had that ability, but we've lost it along the way because of fear, and it's a lifestyle choice and a calling. It's not a career, So that's the way I've always seen it,